after everybody comes in.
Make it.
Welcome
Make-
everybody to Panfish Nation. Along with Mark, I'm Lyle. And tonight, Mark, we have Gabby, Goose, and Justin with Justin's fishing fetish in here. And we're going to have a great time. There's Gabby.
There
She's
she
cooking up
is.
fish.
That Gabby?
I think she's getting ready for Halloween.
This is why I love this show. We like to have family fun in this show, don't we?
That's exactly right. I'd like to say hello to you tonight, Mark. And
I'd like to say hello to you maybe 3 times, Lyle. How about hello, hello, hello?
Well, Chad the golfer, he was kind of making some comments, but at least he did acknowledge everybody this week, and we're so happy for that. And I just wanted to make a comment. He had mentioned in his show earlier that his lovely wife Dee was the executive producer of that show. Hell, she's the brainchild behind it. If it wasn't for Dee, he wouldn't even be able to get the microphone to work.
I like to think that Chad's the caddy in that golf operation over there.
I second that.
I'm thinking you're right about that.
Some people have been sending me pictures of him in golf pants that they've photoshopped up this week. I'm not going to name any names. I'm sorry, Lyle?
Are those like balloon pants?
They're pretty close. They're all funny stripes and stuff. They look pretty silly.
I'm looking for the ones that's got the stars on them.
We can find them. We could probably find somebody in chat here that sews some of them up. Get them custom ordered for somebody.
Fishing in Mid-South says the Chad is the best catfish angler ever. I think I might have got sick in my mouth a little.
I think Fish in the Mid-South is on some payroll somewhere.
And we're glad everybody's made it to the show tonight. It's awesome to see you all in here and enjoy the guests that we have tonight, because we are definitely going to have a good time.
Absolutely. What do you say I start reading off some names in here, Lyle?
I
Say
think
hello to
that's
everybody.
an excellent idea, and then we'll get right to Justin and Gabby.
I want to say hello to my sister, Betty. I'm glad you're feeling well. I want to say hello to Dee. I don't see Dee in here yet. They could be finishing up. Oh, there's Dee. I want to say hello to Sister Dee. How you doing, Dee? Hello, Avid. How you doing, Avid? Happy belated birthday. His birthday was last Saturday, Lyle. Blue Line Adventures. He's going to be on Avid's show this Sunday, I believe. I think I read there somewhere. I see Bonnie McClary. What's going on, Bonnie Bop? Did I read that right? Bonnie Bop or Bonnie Boop? I don't know how to read that, so please forgive me. I see Buckeye Catfishing in the house. There's Catmandu Outdoors. Hey, Catmandu, how you doing, bud? I think he's been away for a little bit. It's good to see the name pop back up in the chat. I see Miss Chrissy Brown. I see the one and only Cindy Stokes. How you doing, Cindy? I see Crappie Dave Fish on. Dale Hayslip. What's up, Dale? Dan Thompson. How you doing, Dan? Fins and Fowls. What's going on, Fins and Fowls? Fish and Freedom. Love that name. Fishing with Squirrel. How you doing, Squirrel? Hopefully you're on the fish. Fish in the Mid-South, the one who is on Chad's payroll. What's going on? Fishing with Rob Mack. What's up, Rob Mack? How you doing? There he is. Freddie's Outdoors Adventures. Lyle, I got the same kind of package you did from Freddie.
Isn't that cool?
And I think I got gold fever just from holding that in my hand. I'm like thinking, is there anywhere around here to go do a little dredging?
Cindy took the earrings, which is probably good because I don't have any holes to stick them through. So I'd had to drill a couple, and I'm really not into that.
No.
But she'll wear them proudly.
Yeah, and I gave mine to Sheila too. She said she'll put them up for a special occasion. I can't wait to see what that's going to be. Absolutely. So thank you, Freddie. I appreciate it, my friend. There's Dee again. Hello, Dee. We got Chris, Hooks and Hammocks. What's going on, Chris? Chris is trying to get to 1,000 subs like Chad and Avid are. So if you guys aren't hook set on them, you might want to try it out and try out some of their videos. I'm sorry?
How close are they? Do you know?
They're pretty. I don't know exactly. I know Chad and Avid. They're just under the 900 mark, I believe. But I think Chris is well above the 900 mark. So we'll be pushing for him all weekend, try to get him up there as well. Same with Chad and Avid. So
yeah, while you're at it, while you're going over and subscribing to Hooks and Hammocks, be sure to check out Avid and Fishing with the Chad and subscribe to those two so we can get them where they need to be.
absolutely, it's good because when you're not so worried about getting subs, you can put out better content and better shows and move on. That's the one obstacle that a lot of creators try to get over. So, and once you get over that 1K, it seems like YouTube's more apt to push your content too. So a lot more people need to see what these creators are putting out there. So that's why we want to do it. So hopefully you'll get that soon, Chris. I see Jason Lamb. What's up, Jason? John Boys Catfishing. How you doing? K&B Anglers is back in the house. What's going on? Torque and Murky Production Company. Keith Smart. It's good to see Keith back in the chats. What's up, Keith? Not just Mr. The great Maurice Kaysen. What's up, Maurice? We got Michael Williams. Rob, Mo Creek Fishing, who's going to help me with some camera issues I have, Lyle. He's always willing to help me out. That's
awesome, man. He's
smart dude. Too. He's brilliant. We see Mr. Bone 39, Roger from Muskrat Adventures, Papa Ed, Ryan Bortz, Blue Collar Fishing, who just uploaded a video today. He wanted to make sure that I knew that. You know, he named his video exactly what I was naming the video I was taping today, The Son of a Gun. So I'm going to call it the same thing, but Ryan Bortz stole my name first. He says, I dare you. I told him to hold my beer.
Yeah.
SK's Crappie Catching Adventures. What's up, SK? I sat in on your show last night and listened. It was always good to see your live shows on Wednesday nights after James. It's always cool, even though James wasn't on, but that's pretty much the time. Super Dave 336, one of the great mods from SK's live chats. What's up, Super Dave? Kelly from the Bullock Experience. What's up, Kelly? Twisted Fishing TV. What's going on? And V3 Custom Vans. I think V3 Custom Vans is Van Run. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's Avid. What's up? I did say hello to Avid. Let's see if I missed anybody. I'm going through the list here.
Jay Foxhunter?
Nope. Jay Foxhunter I missed. Fishing with Big Mike. What's up, Big Mike? How you doing, bud?
Squirrel?
I think I got Squirrel.
Okay. Did you get Chrissy Brown?
I absolutely got Chrissy Brown. James.
Got to get Chrissy Brown.
Yeah. James Henderson I didn't get. I apologize. James, how you doing?
Jason Lamb.
Jason I got.
Okay.
I think we got everybody unless somebody pops up later. Unless there's anybody you want to say hello to, like me again, Lyle.
Well, hello there, Mark.
Well, hello, Lyle. How are you doing again?
I'm doing better than the Chad.
What do you say we say hello, Justin? Hello, Gabby. What's going on, guys?
Oh, doing pretty good.
Justin likes to say howdy in the chats. What happened to your dog head? That was cool.
Well, get your dog head on then.
Can you talk in it?
I told her to take it off for a few.
For those of you listening at home on Lyle's podcast, Gabby's one of the kids in the Catfish family here who's adored by everybody. And if she wants to wear a dog head, Lyle, don't you think she should?
I think she should. Now, Justin, you know, we've been doing this for a while. And I'm trying to remember how long Gabby's been involved in you guys fishing stuff. It's been a long time.
Ever since I started.
Yeah. And that's how long?
Oh, I don't remember.
4
or 5.
I was going to say 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years.
She was really small the first time I seen her, but she's growing like a weed.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
When we was out to James's tournament this year, she became a dog setter just instantly with my dog that we had out there. But, you know, she's really grown and catching fish and doing all the stuff that you guys to do. It's great to watch these kids grow up. We've seen like Dieter's son. He's a big kid now. He's not a little guy like he was the first time I seen him. And all the rest of the kids that had grown up in the Catfish family. But Gabby, she's been in it for a long, long time.
She's my little fishing freak, that's for sure.
That's what you got to have, though. There's so many worse things she could do.
Her mama always wanted this proper little girl with dresses and all that. And
Not gonna happen.
never happened.
Good luck with that.
Lyle, I see Pontoon Jody. I want to give a shout out to Jody. How you doing, dear?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's Mike Irwin and Tim Molina.
Mr. Tim Molina.
Always good to see Tim. You guys got going on vacation? Is that what you told me?
Yeah, we're heading to Pigeon Forge tomorrow.
Man, that sounds like a lot of fun. Now, how much fishing are we going to do?
I wish it was nothing but fishing, but I was told if I go fishing, I'm going to get stabbed. Mama said, you go on enough fishing trips. This is my weekend.
Wait. Let's clarify this. Did she say if you bring your gear or if you go fishing? Because there's difference.
She said if I ain't allowed to go fishing, and if I even brought a fishing pole or anything like that, she's going to stab me.
Wow. That sounds serious to me.
Do you have any chainmail you could wear?
I used to.
Okay.
Oh, here comes Mama.
Uh-oh. Did I hear somebody mention fishing?
She just said she packed a knife in her bag, just so I know.
Well, I hope you guys have a great time while you're down there. I know you will. It'll be a lot of fun, but when you get back, you can wipe the tears off your fishing rod. You'll be good to go.
Most definitely.
Soda water gets blood stains out too pretty good if you get it soon enough.
Oh, soda water? Okay.
That's exactly right.
So, Gabby, can you talk in that mask?
Yeah.
All right. It even moves when she talks. So, what's your favorite kind of fishing, Gabby?
Catfishing.
Speak up.
Catfishing.
Catfishing? You like catfishing? You like crappie fishing too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like bait fishing? I hear you're.
Oh,
There's Jim Catman Clark. What's going on, Jim? How you doing?
And Laura DeFore says that Creo is very likely listening. He's driving home from work.
What's going on, Jeremy? How you doing, bud? We'll see you on Sunday, my friend.
Yeah, I'm hoping with this cold spell that comes through, the water cools down and kicks some crappie into gear.
You know, it's cooled the water down a little bit here, but the problem is I don't think they're used to it yet.
Yeah, that's right.
They're still spread out around here. At least the decent ones are. I haven't found any piles of anything yet. I'm still getting panfish close to the weed beds and stuff, but I have a feeling that's going to change real soon.
Yeah, they'll move out away from there for long, probably.
You know what that means, Lyle? That means I might need to get that fly rod and reel sooner so I can get them littler baits out farther and see what happens. I don't know if we can get them out from the deeps, but I sure as heck want to try.
I had a guy contact me about building another fly rod this week, actually.
I love using fly rod.
I know you like tying flies too, don't you, Justin?
Yes, sir.
And jigs.
I've been messing with the beaky flies and some good little jigs for bluegill and crappie.
Hang on, Gabby. There we go.
Ooh, I like that.
Nice. Yeah, heck yeah. Now, Gabby, did you tie yours?
Yeah, she tied that one.
That looks fantastic, young lady.
Looks great.
See one of her other ones. She goes all crazy with colors.
I like that red and blue. Orange head, black body. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's another one she done. She's getting into it. But I found that most of my crappie I'm catching right now is on this little fly I done.
Like a micro.
Oh, what size hook is that?
That's like a number 6 hook. I don't know. I bought a pack off of eBay real cheap. And tried them out, and they actually work really good. You got that big wide gap.
What kind of body material is that, Justin?
The like tinsel Chanel.
That's what it looked like, but I couldn't really tell.
And the tail?
The tail is just that the Flashaboo.
It's just regular Flashaboo?
Yep. I just use a lot of I use a lot of that stuff.
See,
Like I see a
Lyle,
lot of people just put 1 or 2 pieces on there. I use it for tails, and it works pretty good.
There you go.
Hang on.
I can't get over that hat on her.
That'll make it easier.
I like that one too.
Absolutely.
I bet he would love that.
That would look good wet, definitely.
Yeah. The blue in there with that pink really stands out.
It's hot in there.
I bet it is.
This side of it. It's got
This is, in the springtime, this is one of the ones I use where I catch my most of my biggest crappie.
Purple and pink. But now, are you saying that works better in the spring than in the fall?
Yes, for me it does.
So how are you fishing that? Are you casting it out there with like a water bobber or something, or are you actually using a fly rod and reel?
I'm not. Usually I'm using a bobber. I'll put 3 of them on there, and I usually will make a combination of all different colors to see which ones I hit. Here's one of the other ones I've done up. I originally done this for skipjack, but the crappie like it really well also.
Oh, with the little like, what is that tail material made out of?
Some lace I got from Walmart for 99 cents.
There you go.
Cool. Yep.
Nice and sparkly.
Works good for wings.
I seen that and I was like, that would make good wings. So I tried it out and it works pretty good. And it actually holds up. So I usually run one of these, a pink and purple, and there it is. My little James Dockery style fly. It's all gray.
Oh, when you said James Dockery, I thought it was going to be ugly, but that's not ugly.
Or angry.
Yeah, or angry. Hey, we've got some more people that has joined us in chat. Danimals Creation and Adventures, Buckeye Catfishing, Lee Evans, Central Valley Adventures. There was somebody else.
I think I seen Michael Morello up there earlier too, Lyle.
Michael Morello and Buckeye.
Papo
Ed. We got there's Freddie's. I think you called Freddie though. I'm trying to keep up with all of them, but it's hard to. They come in, but we want to acknowledge everybody that we can.
Papa Ed, he just mentioned that he uses a big ice fishing bobber.
Nice. It's a great idea.
When I've used jigs like that or flies like that, I've used and Lance is out there. Lance McCougai is out there. He was on Roger's show. When I use those, I like using the water bobbers. They seem to work pretty good. I'll use something like that when I'm stock trout fishing too. And
now, for people that don't know what a water bobber is, why don't you explain that?
I was going to ask what that was.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead. Why don't we let our guest explain what they are?
No, I was going to ask what it was.
Oh, water bobber. Okay, water bobber is a little clear bubble bobber, right? And there's there's a pin that goes through it. And what you do is you pull the pin out, you fill it up with as much water as you need, and you stop it back up. So there's a little bit of water in there and a little bit of air, and you control at what depth you want or how light your fly is that you're casting as to how far you want to set it out. So it's pretty much an adjustable bobber. It looks just like a little clear, like small, like maybe I want to say like jawbreaker size too. They're maybe a little oblong a little bit too, but they work pretty well. My buddy turned me on to them a couple of trout seasons ago, and I've been using them when the fish are real picky and the water's real clear, because it's clear. And when you fill it with water, even partially, it'll sink up to that water line. They can't see the float. So it's for very picky fish.
Yep. Hog Leg, you
Looking at
did?
that, I've never seen them.
Welcome, Hog Leg. We're glad to see you in here.
Lyle, did I say hello to you yet tonight?
Yeah, but I can take it again.
Okay.
Since Chad has to learn from someone. But, there is something. Is he made it migrated into our chat yet?
Yeah, he was in here.
Okay. Hello, Chad.
I think he was recommending putters to somebody.
I would like to mention the I do like Chad's new background. I'm glad he made that, and it looks awesome.
I really would like the background that he used today at his show today. It looks pretty good.
Yep.
There he is. What's up, Chad? How you doing, brother?
So how long you been tying jigs and flies and stuff, Justin?
About 3 or 4 years.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Just off and on.
It's
I
a
never
great hobby.
was like, I'm fanatic about it. I got all kinds, but I see how when y'all usually you'll tie 2 or 3 of the same kinds. I can't do that. I'll see something and throw something else in there. I can't ever tie 2 alike.
That whole squirrel syndrome?
Yeah.
I sit here at night watching videos of people's fishing stuff, and jig tying stuff will pop up. So I'll be trying to do 10 or 12 of one kind, and one of them videos will come up with something that's different, or it's a fly, and I try to convert it to a jig, and boom, that's the rest of the night right there. Until I get it where I want it. I'll just continue to do that until I get it where it needs to be. But yeah, Chad's the master angler. Man, he's paying that guy a lot of money.
All right, Lyle, I'm going to send, I just found a water bobber because people are talking about it, a picture of it on somebody who's, oh, wow, that's a 25 pack of someone who's selling them on eBay just so they can get an idea of what they look like. So I put that link in chat there. You'll see it on my name. So don't go there until after the show or open it in a separate window, but you guys will understand what I'm talking about.
Cool. Yeah, I'll have to give those a try.
Where's it at?
Well, I actually put it up. I put it up in a thing. I can send you the link personally later, Lyle. Actually, okay. I'll do that too.
Oh, I thought you wanted me to put it up here for everybody to see.
No, that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to give them a try because my bait creek I go to, sometimes the fish are real finicky.
Right so on, K&B. Right.
You showed me a real cool minnow bucket when we were out when I was out in Ohio. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that? Because you were pretty happy to show that sucker off, and it was just
called the dry hands minnow bucket. And the way it's set up, it has a little plunger on it, and you lift up on it, and it will dispense 1 minnow at a time, and you might get a drop or 2 of water in your hand, so your hands never get wet. It's fully insulated, comes with an aerator on it and everything, and I mean, me and Roger were out on the water in 90-degree weather, and it kept the water cool, and we barely lost any minnows with it. It was amazing. I was like, okay, I got to buy me one. So I went right out and got me one. Actually, my wife bought it for me for my birthday.
Well, there you go. That's a cool birthday present. Those are great. Ice fishermen up here use those just to keep their hands from getting wet. And you know what? I'm actually thinking about picking one of them up just for the couple of times I go perch fishing downtown, because I always end up freezing my hands off.
I want a perch fish.
Come on up, Lyle. I got a room for you, bud, in December. You, me, and Violet. You, me, and Violet will go fish. We'll go fish Navy Pier downtown Chicago.
Downtown Chicago? I'm not sure I'd be suited real well for that.
Well, you know what? We go down there at like 5 a.m. It's still dark. You won't even see anybody till we get down there. We'll be gone by 9 o'clock with limits.
Really?
Yes,
That's
sir.
Awesome.
That would be awesome.
That would be fun. I'm still trying to get over the fact that you keep telling me that they taste better than crappie.
I wouldn't say better. I'd say comparable.
they're comparable to crappie,
Man, that's an awesome eating fish right there. Then,
but you got to get a mess of them to make a meal.
yeah, well, crappie's same way. Jim, I have not tried African porcupine quills for bobbers, but if you'll send me a link, I'd give it a shot. I've got a link. We can turn them down if they're too big.
Lyle, that's the second time that this week actually that someone has asked me if I've ever used porcupine quills for bobbers. So
I have
that's
not.
definitely something that's piquing my interest.
That's something I'll have to check into. I like trying all kinds of new stuff.
Yes, so do I. That's part of it for me.
Absolutely. Freddy's Outdoor Adventure says he has 2 questions for Gabby. What's your favorite color, and what is your favorite bait to use for panfish?
Your favorite jig color? I got thinking now. Now smoke's gonna start rolling.
Didn't hear.
Oh yeah, pick up.
I probably like hot pink.
Hot pink?
Fishing.
What's your favorite bait? What would you prefer?
I probably like minnows.
Minnows? Well, there you go. Great answer. Great answer.
Hey, Lyle, you mind if I wish J-Dog a speedy recovery? He's not feeling well. I don't think he has anything major, but I understand that he's sick, and I imagine he's probably at home watching this on his TV or something, so we want to make sure we wish J-Dog the very best in a quick recovery.
That's exactly right. Now, I didn't know he wasn't feeling better. I did see his video that he put out today. Great guy. He does a lot of cool stuff, and him and I have kind of go at each other, not quite like Chad and I do, but we're going to have some fun here coming up here pretty quick, providing he feels like it. If not, we'll make it another time. It's not a big deal either way. He's just a good guy all around.
Absolutely.
Lance is having a bacon wrap pizza burger for dinner.
I'm not quite sure what that is, but I like the way it sounds.
It sounds awesome. It's got bacon.
It does. I'm going to have to check DoorDash after the show, see if I can order one of them up.
K&B says, Mark, you have to use fresh quills. Have fun catching a porcupine.
I've never seen a porcupine in real life. So
I'll tell you, I have. I had one. We was packing in the mountains in Colorado going elk hunting to set up our camp way out in the boonies. We was 14 miles from the trail. And one come walking right down. It's just a path that you ride horses on or walk horses on. About this wide. One went right to path right to us. And it got, 20 yards from me. I was in the lead, and it just walked off the side of that mountain, walked down the side of the mountain. I guess it didn't want to mess with those big old horses. But that was too close for me because I was kind of reaching for something to make sure it didn't get a hold of, stick one of them horses or something. But, man, they're ugly. They're nasty looking things. That's the only one I've ever seen.
Jim Clark says that American porcupine quills won't work. They're too small,
aren't they?
That's what he's saying.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Brian B. is listening. Glad to see that. And Brad Cottle, he is in here. He's
what's up, Brad?
Snickers.
Realville.
Yeah, Realville Catfishing's in the house. What's up, Realville?
Sunfish Assassin.
We are so glad about that. We really are.
Mole Creek says a couple of dogs in northern Missouri found one. That doesn't sound like a good day.
Fishing the Mid-South says J-Dog probably ate a bad minnow. I'm thinking the whole shad, but what do I know?
Ace Catfishing. What's going on, Greg? How you doing?
Yeah, Greg's in here all the time. Good to see him. Sunfish Assassin.
So what kind of colors do you like, Justin?
Me, real partial to pink and black.
Pink and black.
Pink and black's one of my favorites.
Year round?
Yeah.
Let me get you a solo shot here.
me get my little tweezers here so it's easier to see.
Now, is that them's hackle, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Nice, very nice. I'm not sure how they got the head to look like that, though.
I actually took little, real fine Chanel. That's actually a fly.
Wow.
I took real fine Chanel and made a body on it.
I see.
But pink and black and white.
Pink and black and white. Very
White,
nice.
all white, you can never go wrong with, no matter where you're at.
That's
Or what time of year.
Yep, I agree with that. I just seen a guy in chat that I want to say hello to. Fish Smack has joined us, and Yee Fishing.
And I see Dale Hayslip in the house too. What's going on, Trey? How you doing, bud?
Terrador Arco. Did we say Realville catfishing?
I believe Justin did.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
All right.
And LG Bass is in the house.
Very nice. Trying to keep up with all of them, but it gets to the point where it's hard to remember who we've said and who we haven't.
That's okay. We'll say hello to him twice, just like I'll say hello to you again, Lyle.
Absolutely, and thank you so much, and hello to you, Mark.
Thank you. And hello to you, Justin and Gabby, as well.
Hello. Hello, Lyle. Hello, Mark.
Chris Houston. Yeah, and I didn't say it right.
Chris, now you got me saying it wrong. Chris Uzzleton, right?
Usselton.
That's it.
And I know I was making an intelligent effort to try to do it correctly. Mike Sampson, glad to see you in chat.
So, Justin, if you were going fishing this weekend, what would you be chasing?
Trout.
Well, I mean, if you were not leaving town, what would you
If I
normally
wasn't
be
leaving
chasing?
town,
This time of year, I guess, is what I'm asking.
this time of year, I'd be hitting probably 14, 15 foot deep going for crappie.
For crappie, yeah.
Yeah. Find them
Would you-
drop-offs and submerged cover about 14, 15 foot.
So are you finding them like one-offs during this time of year like I am, or are you finding them in piles out by you?
It depends on the day.
Yeah.
You know, if it's an overcast day, I can find them in piles. But bright sunny days, you'll pick one here, one there.
And how are you getting your baits down that low?
So a lot of times I'll spider rig. I'm out on the boat, I'll spider rig right over top of the cover and everything. And we at least pick one or two off of a pile pretty quick that way.
And you're using what, 1/8 ounce jigs, or are you using pairs of jigs on these lines, or what?
I usually drop down 1/64 ounce, and I've got a 3/8 sinker.
So you're almost like drop
Between.
shotting it without touching the bottom, right?
Yeah, yeah. I usually got a jig on the bottom, a 3/8 sinker, and then two more jigs above that.
Oh, okay.
Now, do you use that for crappie fishing?
Oh yeah.
So you're having how many are you having on a rig at a time?
I have 3 hooks on a line at a time.
Now, do you start out with 3 different ones and then go migrate to the one that's getting hit the most?
Yes. I find out which one they're getting excited about, and that's the one I'll switch to. And I usually got 3 or 4 extra poles rigged up with all different kinds. That way I can switch out constantly.
That's a great idea there. Right now, you're talking about, you're fishing from a bank, right?
That's off the boat.
Off the boat, okay.
Yeah, I've got my bass boat rigged up for catfishing or crappie fishing.
When you're spider rigging, how long of poles are you using?
12 to 14 foot.
So you do have a set of those, huh? Did you just finish that one? That looks good.
Yep,
Very
that's the one
nice.
she just tied up.
Very nice.
I'd use that in a heartbeat.
That's the hair from her mask.
Is that what that's from? I was going to ask her if she was going to do that. Have you made one from your dad's goatee hair yet?
No, but I want to.
Just reach up there with a pair of scissors when he ain't looking.
When he's sleeping, he's napping on the couch. When he falls asleep watching the bait
Don't
shop.
get in trouble. Don't let us get you in trouble.
I see it now. I'm gonna wake up with a big patch missing now. Y'all got it in your head.
Oh man, if you do,
wanna-
we gotta have a
Here,
picture
Gabby,
of that.
look, you want to get it from under here so he doesn't even notice right there. Get the under hair. Realville Catfish, and have a good night, man. Thanks for checking us out.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Oh man, yeah.
Maybe I see a video coming up for Panfish Nation. Maybe I'll send you a beard hair video, Lyle. I got to catch fish on it though.
I think Eric Massey did one like that.
Did he?
Long ago, yeah. Some guy that he ties jigs for sent him some beard hair and wanted him to tie them, and he did, and sent them back to him.
Somebody else's beard hair? That's kind of gross.
Yeah, well, it didn't seem to bother Eric. I just got a image that Jim Clark sent me of 10 handmade porcupine quill fishing floats.
Oh, I just got a bunch of messages with porcupine quills.
I have not seen those before, but thank you for that link, Jim, because I'm thinking I might have to have some of them. It's, I'm kind of into stuff I don't have. I like the winner is the guy that when he passes has the most toys. And at one time, I really thought I was the winner. But there's some guys that have passed me recently because I haven't kept up.
There's a lot of people passing me up. I watched them go by me on the bank today while I was fishing all day.
I got you, man. There's Frank with Twisted Fishing TV and Fishing Chick, Mo Creek.
Lisa, what's up? How you doing, Frank?
Mike Irwin. I don't know how many of them we've said before, but we'll say it
Trey
again.
asks, are we sure that was beard hair?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you can go back through Eric Massey's video and check it out. I know it's still in there. He don't want to delete them as far as I know. And it was pretty interesting, but that's what it was. Yeah, I sent it to him.
So besides minnows, are you using any other kind of live bait, Justin and Gabby?
Wax worms.
Oh, you got my number there. This time of year is good too.
Minnows and wax worms. That's about the only thing I'll put on the hook. I've tried them little crappie bites that you get at Walmart. The little
the nibbles,
marshmallows. Yeah, those. I've tried those. I've never had any luck on them whatsoever.
Have you tipped a jig with them? That's pretty much all that I do use them for. Yeah.
I have a question for you, Mark and Ryan.
Okay.
Which one should I use, squirrel hair or blue deer tail hair?
I like the deer tail, buck tail.
Me too.
And the reason I like it, because it don't spread out as bad.
Yeah.
The squirrel tail, you have to really wrap it lightly or it'll just bush out all the way around you. And I like the blue too. It's pretty.
It smells weird.
The smell of the dog.
Fishing Chick says she doesn't have luck with crappie nibbles either.
Huh.
I think Miss Betty will argue till the death for that one, though.
SK, I'm sure will.
Yeah, that's true.
He puts them on everything, man.
I like
crab. Have they hurt your bite though?
No.
Okay, well, here's my thing. When I'm casting jigs, the scent can't hurt the way I look at it, right? And if I get snagged or not snagged, or if I hit something that I'm not sure is a snag or a bite, once I get my jig back, if the crappie nibble is still on there, it was a snag. If it's gone, most likely it was a fish. Because I think they zero in on them too. But that's just me. That's my experience. That's what my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Here's a comment from another tying addict that calf tail is his new favorite. And I think there's something wrong with Rob at Mo Creek because He hasn't been buying near enough stuff. I've talked to some of the guys that he was ordering from. They say they're really missing the fact that he's not buying everything.
Hurting their bottom line.
Yeah.
There's Tirador Arco. I saw him earlier. I forgot to say hello. How you doing, Al?
SK says, hours, make sure to get the right nibbles, not the bites. Berkeley nibbles.
Might be. I'll have to try that then.
Great advice. Fishing Chick says, I just got my jig tying kit in the mail today a little bit ago. Now I need to learn how to use it. There's some great videos online about learning how to use them. And I would say, as long as you've been on all these forums now and these shows and stuff, you could probably send a message to just about anybody you trust and they would give you the correct answer.
Maybe we could do a Saturday night show on how to get started with one, Lyle.
That's a great idea.
You'd be the man to show people, definitely. You showed me.
It's not hard. It's just time consuming to learn, but it goes really quick. What do you got there, Gabby?
Which one should I use? Pink,
Pink?
light, or blue?
Blue?
Well, that's blue. Lighter blue, and then black.
And black. There you go.
I
Now,
go black.
Kim Burnett only uses black and white. I use a few more colors than that, but if that's about all Kim uses, and he does very well.
Which one should I use?
What color is the tail and the body you're making?
I would say one of the blues. Crappie have always liked my jigs just fine the way they are. I've never tipped them.
Light or blue? Or
Go with the light matches.
Light blue.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. I usually try to match my thread with my body color. When I first got started tying, I got a vise and all that, and didn't have anything to tie. I was chasing my dogs around, clipping the hair off my dogs, and got a jig. And here's my very first jig I ever tied.
Is that dog hair?
That's my dog hair.
Oh, wow.
Is your dog still with us?
Yeah,
no.
Okay, good.
No, I don't.
off of my Shih Tzus.
Shih Tzus have the hair for it, don't they?
That's what I thought. I was like, oh, everybody talks about how hair moves good. I've never used it for fishing, so.
I have to tell you, the way Gidget sheds, there'd be plenty of hair around here to use. Man.
Coco's hair is so stiff, bristly, that my wife who has super soft feet will get a Coco hair stuck in it.
Oh,
Fishing and freedom, that's kind of on the same thing as Fishing Chick was saying, and maybe we'll just make that happen. I think that's a good idea. We'll just do a beginner's course. Start out with things that you need, and then start showing you how to do it.
What?
Black and blue are classic fish catchers. I think the favorite for me is chartreuse and black. I mean, for in and out most year round, you can't hardly beat them. I mean, it's everybody's going to have their favorite ones, but I think all around that's a pretty good color.
That's a good place to start. That or white, I believe, as far as fishing them.
and my wife told me I've got a problem because we were at the fair walking through the barns, and somebody was combing their horse and grabbed a handful of mane and threw it down, and I picked it up and brought it home. She said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I could tie a fly with that."
Yeah,
you're absolutely. You know what? That's how it all started, Justin. You're doing it no different than when they first started doing this stuff. There was some guy somewhere in England, I imagine, because I think that's where the birthplace of fly fishing was, and they're picking up anything that they can tie onto a hook, trying to get fish to bite.
That's right. Papa Ed says he uses dog hair for dubbing. That's a great idea.
Yeah, anytime we go somewhere, that's what I'm looking. I'm looking at different stuff, something different I can try to use for a fly to make something new.
Will you eat my animal cookie?
Rob says, "Don't tell anyone, but my bombs McCall has new bald spot." Yeah, don't you ever be calling me.
So, what's your favorite fishing rod to go after crappie and bluegill with, Justin?
Yeah. I've got a 9-foot ultralight ugly stick. That's probably my favorite.
9-footer though, huh? That's got to have kind of a whippy tail end on it, huh?
It's almost as floppy as a fly rod.
Yeah.
And you lay into about a pound and a half crappie, and it's fun.
The longer the rod is too, when you're fishing ultralight like that, it makes it even better. It makes it manageable and still fun at the same time.
Oh yeah, I like to try to use the lightest rod possible for whatever fishing I'm doing, because the action on it it's so much fun. It makes it better. Although I do have some of the heavy rods for catfishing when I'm out on the river with Roger in the current. Yeah. Which one would go with blue? What do you think color would go better? Black and blue go good together. You want them to choose. You want to know what legs to put on her jig.
I like black. How about you, Lyle?
I like the black, but little girls are probably going to like pink.
Pink will work too.
Pink
She's not a pink person.
Well, what do you think the fish would like better?
Yeah.
Pink is gone.
Pink is gone.
Black it is. Fishing Chick says, my kit is super cheap one and it barely holds a hook, but I want to see if I can do it and if I like it. Well, you will like it after the first time or two. The first 2 or 3 will be aggravating, but after that, once you complete the very first one and it looks like it'll catch a fish, you will be hooked. And you can call on Mo Creek up or send him a message. From that point on, you just hand over your wallet because Rob has spent a ton of money buying stuff.
Rob says he doesn't need anything else. That's why he ain't bought it. He bought it all already.
He needs stuff. He just don't want to spend.
Also, hey, Lisa, Fishing Chick, I had the same problem with mine at first, but once I learned how to adjust it, I was able to get that jig hook to lock in right. It's a little tricky, but once you get the hang of it, you'll figure it out.
That's exactly right.
Once you tie your first jig and you go out and you catch a fish on it, then you're really hooked.
You are. That is 100% correct.
You know what really hooked me on tying my own jigs? The first fish that I caught, I hooked them. I didn't just catch a fish. They were hooked right. They were crappie and bluegill, right? And they were hooked right in the snout, right in the hard part of the nose. The hook stuck, and they weren't coming off.
And the tying has begun.
I can't believe she can see in that mask.
I can't either. Don't poke yourself in the eye. She's holding her Chanel in her mouth. Oh, mercy.
Hey, there's Fins and Fines. What's going on, Bob? Those icons are
Papal Edge. Chartreuse will catch about anything.
I agree.
That's exactly right. He is 100% spot on about that.
I tend to catch more catfish when I'm spider rigging with chartreuse.
Really?
Yeah. That's fun in itself on a 14-foot crappie rod.
Any other color but monkey's milk, I'll get catfish from time to time. I've yet to catch one on monkey's milk. I don't know what it is as far as plastics go.
shoot, since I started tying, I don't use plastics that often anymore.
Did you see Chris's question, Lyle?
No, I did not. I
It's
missed
up a
it.
couple lines above K and B's.
Okay. Amy Jo said, "Tell Gabby Goose, hey, she looks so cute."
Why, thank you.
Is there a difference in fly tying and jig tying bices? No, there is not.
Nope.
They are all the same. Good night, Rob. Glad to have you in chat with us tonight. It's always a pleasure to visit with you, even if we do poke at you a little bit.
All right, bud. We'll talk later.
Yeah, it's probably going to be one of my next big purchase. I want to get me a good fly tying vise.
I sure like that spider I bought. It's small, compact, easy to use.
Check out. Spin this around here.
But I know there's a lot of others that are on the market, and to buy a high dollar one or a more expensive one than just the basics, I think that you
Let me
should.
see if I can find it in there.
There you go. I think that you should contact everybody that's got a different one that you know of and get their opinion of what they have and what they've seen and what they like and why. One of the biggest features I think on purchase of a new vise is the fact that it has to be rotary, that it turn. I like that a lot. That's a nice vise, Justin.
That's a nice vise. I don't see why you'd want to replace that.
Squeezing that right there to unlock it, that's a pain. And I don't want one of them ones I see where everybody just turns it and locks them in.
That's what mine is, yeah.
And then I made this board. Just for holding all my stuff.
Got room for your Mountain Dew too.
Yep.
Or your Mountain Dew bottle.
I got plenty of room on there. It's usually really covered. I covered up with a bunch of stuff. I cleaned it up earlier. And we made Gabby one also. That way, because our table device don't like to hang on, so I wanted to clip it with something. So I made it so it's mobile, so we can move it around. She can even sit on the couch with it on her lap and tie.
Oh, that's way cool. Heck yeah. That is awesome.
Which one should I use, darker or lighter? Shiny.
Use the lightest color, Gabby. That's what I would pick.
Lisa says, a good night, Rob. My first jig is going to be black and white only because my dogs need a haircut. Frank says, I'm thinking of trying a hand pour. Seems like I can get more detail into one of those. Well, maybe so.
Speaking of hand pours, Freddie sent a little 3D printed hand pour for some little tiny, a mold actually for some tiny little twister tails. I imagine he sent those to you too. I just got to figure out how to get plastic injected into them. Yep. But that's something I might try one of these days over the winter.
Yeah, I didn't get the mold thing, but I'm still trying to get over the little pan that he sent me with the gold stuff in it. I sat there playing with this stuff all night, you know.
It is mesmerizing, isn't it?
It is. I know. It is. You know, it's crazy.
Like a new fishing reel. Those kind of mesmerize me too. They got to sit on my desk for a week at least before I put them to use. So where are you fishing mostly for your crappie, Justin?
Usually Rocky Fork or local lake here, Callan Lake.
Okay.
It's full of catfish as Rocky Fork is. Is it still good for panfish and stuff? Bluegill?
Oh, yeah. Most of, like in the thumbnail of the big crappie Gabby's holding, that's where she caught them at, was Rocky.
Nah, nice. I've not been to Rocky Fork. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I know a lot of people that fish Rocky, but of course it's just too far for me to go as general rule. But, you know, if I was over that way, it would be on my list of places to hit if I was going to be fishing over there. I'm quite sure I'd probably rather fish it than the Ohio River.
When I was out there visiting with everybody and fishing with Betty and Brandon, I've never seen so much bait before in my life, Justin.
Really?
Than on Rocky. Never, ever, ever. That whole shallow end we were on was nothing but shad.
Wow.
All of our lakes around here are like that.
Really?
Yeah.
So how do you get catfish to bite? That's my question. You figure they'd get enough to eat.
It's usually the colder months of the year when they bite real good.
Yeah.
But summertime, it's rough. It's rough for catfish biting the lakes.
I have Doc, my good friend Doc, his partner Daniel that used to fish out there, or still does fish out there, fishes Rocky a lot. He's very successful on that lake for catfish. He catches some giant channel cats.
My biggest channel out of Rocky is, well, the biggest that I've weighed is 21 pounds.
That's a giant.
But I've caught quite a few bigger, closer to 25, 26 pounds.
Wow. And you got that big flathead on Rocky too, right?
My big flathead come out Rocky. My largest bass come out of Rocky, which was almost 8 pounds. And my largest saw guy was 29 inches and almost 6 pounds.
That's quite the fishery.
Yes, it is. Kevin, thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate it so much.
Good night, Kevin.
And a couple weeks ago when we was down there with Roger and Minnow Dunkers for that benefit tournament, we stayed up on the bank and we fished on the bank, and all we caught was crappie and perch. And the perch are actually starting to. Gabby pulled in a couple of 9, 10-inch perch, which surprised me.
How'd you get on those?
Minnow on a bobber, on one of my little flies with a under a bobber.
About 4 foot. Yellow perch, right?
Yeah, yellow perch.
Dang, I got to get into them. Frank says he thought you lived further away. He's only 40 minutes from Cedar Point. And Keith Smart says he's not that far from Rocky Fork either.
Cedar Point, yeah, that's about 3.5 hours north of me.
Oh, wow.
Hey, Lyle, did I say hello to you tonight yet?
Hello, Mark. Yes, you did.
You doing? Okay. Fishing with the Chad says, stop lying. There's no fish in Rocky.
You got to learn how to fish it. It's not a river.
That's exactly right.
You know, that's true on almost any body of water I'm learning. Once you learn how to fish it, you can usually do pretty good.
There's one thing I learned. There's a big difference between river and lakes.
Especially for catfish.
Yes.
Absolutely. I couldn't even start. I don't even know where to start fishing flathead on a lake. I couldn't tell you. I would do like Chad, just drag baits till I found them.
I can't make them where you can see them.
Good night, Joe Buck.
Glad to have you in here tonight.
If you want to fish for flathead in a lake, fish just like you're fishing for crappie.
Yeah.
I mean, the exact same way you target crappie, that's how you target flathead in a lake.
Stonefly 71 says I need a bucket full of yellow perch. Yeah, me too.
I'd like a plate. You guys can have the bucket. I want a plate or two full of them.
Keith Smart says that he lives close to Athens.
Okay. That ain't real super far away. It's only about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. Which it's nothing for me. Everywhere I go, it's 45 minutes to an hour drive anyway I go to fish.
That's the same way it is with me around here, but I don't really mind. The thing that I hate worse than anything is it's about 3 hours to the river, the big rivers, Mississippi or Missouri. That's the part that bothers me the worst because that's what I grew up fishing was the big rivers.
I've yet to get on one of the big rivers. Ohio River's the only river I've really been on.
Here's a great question. A great question. And Lisa, you're going to get a whole bunch of different answers.
I was just gonna say.
What is a good rod length for a crappie rod?
Depends on how you're fishing for them and where you're fishing for them. Anywhere from 4.5 foot to 14 foot.
I know Betty likes them short and sweet, like 5.5, 6 feet, if I'm not mistaken.
But there's a reason for that, isn't there?
Well, I didn't want to get into that. I wouldn't talk ill about my sister. Just my brother Chad.
Stonefly says 6 to 10 foot.
He's
probably
right.
Good place to start with that question would be the old dock slayer himself, James Dockery, to find out how short a rod you have to keep from hitting the dock roof. Is everybody in agreement with that?
Agreed.
Yep. In that case, it'd probably be a nice rod for him.
I'm quite sure I'm going to get some emojis from that, but that's okay.
I'm already getting grief in the chat if you look at Chad's last comment.
Let me see if I can find it here. Lisa, from somebody that's built crappie rods for years and years and years, it depends on the person using it and the water they're fishing, whether they're fishing from a bank, whether they're fishing from a boat. There is a lot of right answers and really no wrong answers. I built a bunch of them for a friend of mine and his family. Actually sent 12 of them over to them one year for Christmas, and they got broke. Had to replace them because a post office ran over a schedule 40 tube full of them rods with their forklift and broke them all. And I had to redo them all one year. But anyhow, those was all 6.5 foot. I sent James or give him one up at the Mendota trip. And if I remember right, it was 6 foot. It might have been 6.5, but it was 2-piece. And he specifically wanted 2-piece rods just because him and Katie go in car all the time instead of a truck. And that's easier for him to carry around. He's caught, my God, I can't tell you how many fish on that thing. And he's yet to hit a dock rope with it. Now, maybe that's part of the reason he wanted such a short rod. I don't know. But I've got some made that are 7 foot, some that are 7.5. I have requests a lot of times for people wanting 12 and 14 foot ones. The problem with that is you can buy them so much cheaper than I can buy the blanks. For whatever reason, the aftermarket blank guys, their stuff is way higher quality than a lot of the stuff that you see on a store shelf. And they make me pay extra for that, and in turn, it's passed on. But with custom stuff, that's usually the case. The thing that I would recommend to you is go with somebody that has some fishing rods. And she says, I'll be fishing from a boat, and I like 1 piece. Then I would be looking from something from the 6.5 to 7.5, maybe 8 foot length. But if you know somebody that's got some, see if they'll go with you or let you go with them and try them out to find out what you like, because you may want full grips on the back of it, or you may want split grips, or you may want Apollon or EVA foam. There's just so many things. And if you're going to spend the money to buy one, get what you want. I mean, and that's the best way I know of to tell you to find out what you want. Find somebody that's got some and either borrow them, let them with you, or you go with them and find out what suits you. If I wished it was closer, I'd hook you up with some to use just to test, but it's a long way from where I'm at to Arizona. You guys got any suggestions for her?
If she's got like a farm and fleet type store, go over there, pick up a cheap rod. Eagle Claw makes a real nice noodle rod that Richard Jean, the fishing machine, uses. It's a glass rod. It's really cheap. But If you're a little shorter in stature, it might help you get used to it. If you need to cast farther, get a longer rod, a little bit stiffer rod. If you don't, something like that works. You're set right there. If you want to move into a higher end rod, you can always do that. You can move up to having like you can move into the Panfish series from St. Croix, which runs, I think, 6 foot. I had one of those till I slammed it in a rod locker door in my boat. That was a quick $120 down the drain. I love that rod too. You can get ACC crappie sticks, B&Ms. I think, I don't know if SK still pushing Denali's, but I think those are vertical jigging rods. There's all sorts of different things. I think if you go with something that's a little shorter and a little more faster, limber tip, it'll cover more of your bases. I don't think you're going to be doing any vertical jigging at this point yet. When you get into it, you're going to want a longer, stiffer rod to do that. And the reason is you want to be able to reach out and drop that jig from the tip of that rod straight down to the fish and still feel it telegraph the bite to you, the thump, like everybody says.
Yeah.
That sound about right, Justin?
Yep. I said Walmart carries the 7-8 foot B&M crappie rods. Those
they do.
They're not very expensive, and those are excellent.
Yeah, they're cheap. The Duck Commander rods are cheap that they sell at B&M, and they're good rods.
There you go. Jay Fox Hunter, I really don't do much of that anymore. I just don't have the time to do that. I can recommend you some people if you want that are more into that than I am. But I'm so far behind doing stuff, it just takes forever for me to get to that because my money's made in new rods, and you can't charge enough for repairs to come out on it. So I have virtually stopped doing them. So
and Chad brings up a good point if you want to highlight that too.
Yep, that was next.
Chad says always
go ahead.
And Chad says, always check out local bait shops. They have a good variety and good one, and the good ones know a lot about a lot of different type rods. You're absolutely right. You're going to pay a little bit more, but you're paying for the advice, not just the gear. Well, make sure you find a bait shop that you like.
One thing about the local bait shops, especially the mom and pop stores, they're going to know if they have a bunch of them returned for whatever reason, and they're not going to recommend something that they're going to have to make good. They're going to recommend something that is serving people greatly when they purchase them if they're not seeing a lot of them come back. And I think their advice would be well taken if you would just listen to what they have to say. So she's going to check out the B&M. Papa, it says steel rods work well and normally lighter in the hand.
Steelhead rods.
I got to use one of my buddy's St. Croix rods, and I really liked it. But
yeah, that's a problem.
I can't come off that kind of money for
production
rod like that.
For what St. Croix charges for their rods, you can buy a custom that is a lot better quality blank, I promise you. And I've built on St. Croix blanks. I like them. They're great. But there is a lot for that kind of money. You can buy a lot nicer, higher modulus graphite blank. Hello, Mark, Lyle, and Gabby. Oh, Justin too.
How you doing, Matt?
What's up, wannabe?
Good advice you all gave on crappie rods. SK, if you have any information or any input,
we
would love to hear your output on that also. You probably do as much crappie fishing as anybody. Fishing Chick says the problem is around Yuma is bass. Not really big on crappie or catfish around here. Lisa, let me explain something to you. I live 36 miles from the world's largest bass pro shop in Springfield, Missouri. We have lakes all around. And if you don't bass fish, you're making fun of the people that do. And that's what I do, because that's all that happens around here. I am so disappointed that they won't let me use those for bait, because every other state seems to like to let everybody use them. So from now on, if I catch one by accident, it's going to be dinner. Well, thank you so much. We're glad to help you. That's one of the reasons that we do shows, and one of the reasons that we have guests like Justin on here to help us answer questions and get a different perspective, and we can watch Gabby build jigs. But we want to help people when they're having questions like, and that was a great question about rods. And I knew when she said that there was going to be a whole bunch of different answers, and that's what we want. Different output from a lot of other people. And that way you can make an intelligent decisions and go on. Oh, Keith, thanks for joining us in chat tonight. Get your stuff fixed up and hope you're doing better. But yeah, that question about the rods, that was as good a question as we've seen in a long time.
Oh, yeah.
I am really glad that you put it up. It says he's got a swan noodle rod that I love. I'm not sure what that is.
I've never heard of. I think it's a brand. I have not heard.
It may be. That's a new one on me. Matt says that if you find something, you can order from Walmart and have it sent to your store. Yeah, and they will send them to your house also. Stonefly says, I tell you, them crappie bite things work great. Again, they work for him. They don't work for Justin. You know, it's just they work for Betty. I've not tried them yet. Have you actually tried them, Mark?
I use them all the time. I use crappie nibbles, and I use these smelly smacks from Flea Fly. I got a bottle of these on my desk. I got 4 more bottles of these in my garage. I also just ordered like 3 of the red glitter ones that Betty had talked me into using that I approve of. And I use chartreuse. Those are my colors of choice at this point, but they work pretty good. So can't hurt to add scent.
I'm not sure, but I think in most of SK's videos, he uses a white nibble. I believe.
I've seen him use white. I don't recall anything else. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that's his choice of colors. Frank says he has a 15-year-old Gander Mountain Guide Series light action 7-foot, my all-round favorite panfish rod. And that includes pan-sized cats. Thing must have some good backbone in it.
And Dee says she has a 6'6" Vexen rod and she loves it. See, everybody has their favorite. Dee said that.
Oh, Dee, I didn't see her comment. Chad must be hiding her comments from me. I still don't see it.
It's right above Twisted Fish and TVs.
Oh, there it is. Vexen rods are pretty good.
I've never used one of them.
They're not too bad for, production rods are production rods. We'll just leave it at that.
Use whatever you have confidence in using. And once you've mastered that, then go custom. That's the way I usually do it.
My theory is buy the best quality equipment of any kind that you can afford.
Amen.
The best quality equipment of any kind that you can afford.
I kind of look at quality equipment that I can't afford and end up saving and buying it anyways, Lyle.
Yeah, I know. SK says the other crappie nibbles work, but they will stain a white boat. I do use the glow white a lot. I do that. I didn't know that was the reason, but I did notice that. Y'all got me worked up. I think I'm going to run to Walmart now and see what they got.
I got a grocery list, Lisa. Walmart.
My job's done for the night.
make sure when you buy a crappie rod that's an ultralight, especially when you're first starting out.
I think that's good advice.
First time I took my wife fishing, 27 years ago. It was at nighttime. We had a little light up bobber out there and tossed it out, and the bobber went down, and she yanked on it. She hit me with a bobber and a set of lips. She ripped the lips right off that crappie. The lips were stuck on the hook.
Fishing with the chances. I have an 8 foot and a 6'6" vegan. Dee must not have taught him how to spell.
I didn't know that.
Mommy's Bait and Tackle had a rack full of 10-foot noodle rods, cheap a few years
ago. What's y'all's favorite way to fish for crappie?
Yeah.
Has anybody ever asked?
My favorite way of fishing for crappie doesn't work all year, but it's casting little 2-inch paddle tails to them. That I always have a blast doing because for some reason, if I'm wearing polarized glasses, I can see that flash of them come up and hit that little paddle tail, and it gets me all worked up. It gets me really excited. It also pulls some of the bigger fish out of the pile, I feel, but it doesn't work all year. When you're having to fish real slow and methodical, then it doesn't do that. What's a quick second, probably going to overtake the first, is using my own hand ties. That's coming up.
Very nice, Gabby. Yeah, I like fishing for bluegills best of all, and one of the most productive way for me is putting a piece of worm on a jig or just a hook under a bobber. We've done that for years and have great success, but I like fishing when they're up in the brush and the weeds and stuff, and that's going to be ending here pretty quick. I know that it is, but man, you can cast jigs up there and you can tip them with worms or crappie nibbles or a piece of whatever you want to do. You don't even need it. A jig of any kind, if you got the right color, will get them. And when they're on fire and they're wanting to bite, you can sit there and catch gills and sunfish and long ears and pumpkin seeds and just catch them until your heart's content, till you've had all of it you want. And to me, that's a fulfilling day. And if you're going fishing, you got bait. If you want to eat them, you can eat them. And if you just want to throw them back, you can throw them back. And nobody's the wiser.
All right, let me add another favorite way of fishing for crappie, and that's long line trolling. I'm getting into more of that this year. That's always a good time.
I like to watch that. I'd like to try it sometime.
I've never tried that. I don't even.
It's like, think about sitting there with catfish bait in the water, but the boat, well, it's like dragging baits, but for crappies. It's pretty easy to do. Not much casting. You can do it from a seat.
What was our guest name that we had on here a while back, local to me, that does a lot of that?
Mike Baker?
Mike Baker does a lot of long line trolling. He uses them little bitty artificial, whatever they are.
The twister tails.
Yeah, all like kinds of stuff, yeah.
I just had an idea for a guest, Lyle. We'll talk after the show.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't even know how fast you go for long lining or nothing like that.
I don't either, but I would think it'd be about the same as it would for anything else. A piece of bread.
I caught him at a mile an hour.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Down to a third, up to a quarter, half, and then 1 mile an hour. I've caught him on mistake trying to get to a different spot.
Cool. A piece of bread and garlic sprinkled on top makes small balls and make my own crappie nibbles. That's good advice right there.
Or you can make garlic bread too while you're at it.
Yeah, and then send me a loaf.
I don't think we mentioned the magic word today, Lyle.
We haven't, and I'm shocked that nobody in chat has. I really am. But, I would bet good money that you could catch bluegill or maybe not crappie, but bluegill on bacon.
I'm sure you can.
Anything eats bacon. It's the all-round food. And Robert Andrews says, I use bandit lures this summer at about 1.7 trolling for crappie. Wow. Welcome to chat, Robert. I'm not sure we mentioned you today. That seems fast, don't it? Wow.
Crappie Day Fish on. There you go. And Dan Thomas, they know what we're talking about.
Bacon.
What's going on, JVT?
I've been using those beaver tail baits on a dart jig on my pond, tearing up bluegill and bass. Awesome.
Oh,
hey,
Lance said bacon
JVT, how you
earlier.
doing, buddy? This guy scared me the other day. I watch him at night. He does a lot of live shows at night. And the other day he was on during the day, and I couldn't believe it because he's always on at night. I watch him, and sometimes he's on real late, and sometimes not so late. But he catches a lot of great fish from down in Texas. So if you guys get a chance, be sure to check him out.
Chrissy's correcting us, saying actually bacon was mentioned earlier in the show.
I'm sorry, I missed it. I missed it. No, I'm not a vampire. Frank said, I imagine a crappie swimming like a bluefin chasing a bait. Well, if you ever catch a bluegill or a crappie and it's not big enough to take home and you reach down in the water and you let it swim out of your hand, it's gone. I mean, them things are fast. So there's no question they couldn't catch one down, but no bigger than they are. How much stamina do they have? But if you're going right by them, all they're going to do is just run up there and get a bite and come back down. So
when I'm putting them back, Lyle, I like to lay them on their side because they'll stay stunned for a second and lay there. As soon as they kind of right themselves, then they take off. It's kind of cool to watch.
That would be great if you had a GoPro set up for underwater stuff, so you could get the full view of that.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that'd make a good video shot. But I just like to catch them and watch them swim away, and I like to eat them. There's just nothing.
I'll say I don't like to watch them swim away. I like to take them home and eat them.
Well, when they're too small, I don't keep the look. They're too much trouble to clean if they're too small. But I don't like the giants either. I throw them back because them's breeding stock. And my buddy James would say they only have a short window of a lifespan. And I know that he's correct about that. What did he tell us?
I believe he said it's about 8 years.
Yeah, so when they get to be giants, you should take some of them out. Well, I understand that, but it's just hard to do because they might get one more breeding season in and pass that gene along. That would allow more of them to get that big. And 8-9 inch bluegill, that's a great eating size fish. And you're not hurting anything else. I've been using that trout magnet kit, and I do good with it for little kit.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That is. Let me get that. Now, that is nice. Very nice. And I thought you didn't like pink.
And I had pink deer tail out.
Had it out. She even has the jig pose right with the hand behind it.
That's right. She done good. She done good. Yep. Beautiful jig. Be good on crappie, I would say.
Oh.
If too small to eat, the flatheads love them. That is correct. That is correct.
Lyle, I think I have one more catfish trip in me, and then we're going to switch it over to hardcore crappie chasing.
Oh, wow. So when is this coming up?
Hopefully next week.
Next week. Good deal. Stonefly says, I use trout magnets and panfish kits by them.
You know, those trout magnets work great for panfish, for
Beauty.
bluegills and such, and the crappie magnets that work very well for crappies as well.
I'm trying to think. Alex with Realistic Fishing has been using a lot of, I'm trying to think what he calls them, Berkeley Gulp minnows.
I love those.
He catches a ton of bluegill and stuff on them. Now, I never have seen Alex, and maybe he does, and I just haven't seen the right videos, but I've never seen him catch crappie. I've seen him catch bass.
I've seen him. He's got his one stump out there that he's always constantly yelling at the boaters when they get too near from him. The one that's far out, he catches them out there on the Berkeley Gulp minnows. He gets them.
Okay, I know he catches a lot of bluegill by the log.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's usually bluegill or crappie. He gets on them both at that spot, I
I
think.
must have overlooked or been doing something else when he's catching the crappie, but I know that he's a bass guy and he loves that, but I don't watch too much of the bass stuff, but I do like his panfish videos. And he must be a member of some kind of a club or something because he seems to go out to them places. And the one place, I think you have to be a member or something. JBT says, those look nice. I never tried the jigs, but I use grub style and I need to learn how to tie them. It's a very addictive habit. I will promise you that.
So, Justin, when you get back from vacation, where's your first fishing trip planned to? Back over to Rocky, you think?
I think I'm going to head back up to Hoover.
You're going to hit Hoover?
Yeah. So, Hoover, it's an amazing crappie lake.
That's what we heard after we had left. We saw some pictures on social media. Me and Betty were checking it out, and they were doing pretty well over there.
I fished quite a few crappie tournaments on that lake, and it's always up here. 1.5 pounds crappie is huge,
Same
and
here.
you'll pull 8 fish and pound and a half off that lake. And then me and Gabby, first time we went up there, we just went up there and fished from the bank. And we come back with a whole cooler full of anywhere from 9 to 13-inch crappie. That's just because I know the lake and I know it's crappie lake. We catfished later that night, but we didn't catch them.
I got my first blue on Hoover.
That's cool.
I got my only 2 blues on Hoover. You know, I went all the way out there, Lyle, and fished the Ohio River to catch a channel cat.
And you live on some of the best channel cat fishing there is. Crappie day fish on. I use gulp minnows for walleye. I live close to Lyle. I'll be darned. Didn't know you was close to me.
I love walleye fishing.
Well, there's plenty of them around.
Yeah, the crappie gulp minnows come in different sizes, so I imagine he's using maybe a 3-incher for walleye. That's the size I would use.
Yeah. I always go up in the spring to ball meat for the walleye room. That's a different beast in all in itself.
There was 1 million crappie hanging around the surface at sunset the other day, but only got one to hit on a teeny piece of worm. I think you get to tying jigs, you'll be better off using them for crappie, be my guess.
Yeah, hitting small baits like that, or hitting just a teeny piece of worm, then you'll want 1/64 to 1/100 jig, something real small.
Stonefly said they started to restock walleye in Hoover, also for their breeding program. Good deal.
Rams Bait and Tackle, San Antonio, Texas. What's up, my friend?
JBT, there's monster crappie in my lake. I really need to find out how to target them.
Absolutely.
Start with minnows. That would be my
Minnows under a bobber by boat docks.
That'd be a great place to start. Sure would. Sure would.
and that being Texas, there's going to be some big ones in that lake. I bet.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Stonefly, I need to get over there with you this year and go for some walleye and sauger.
Yeah, them sauger is good eating too. Haven't had any of them in years. Maybe longer than that. Been a long,
How are you
long
chasing walleye, Justin?
I usually go up to Lake Erie with a buddy of mine, and we either drift for them, put a bottom bouncer out with a worm harness, and then cast a worm harness, or we're trolling with spoons. In the springtime, I go up during the walleye run and up the Maumee River, and it's literally elbow to elbow people down both sides of the river. You stand out there about chest deep in the water casting.
Wow. Papa Ed says, ever get a chance to fish wasi? I'm not sure I pronounced that right. Don't pass it up. Gills will fill a skillet. Crappie up to and over 20 inches long. Them are giants. Giants.
I'd have to put a 20-inch crappie on my wall.
Yeah. Had a guy about 9 of them on a stringer, 13 to 16 inch. It was insane. I thought they were getting bad at first. I can understand that. I really can. Guys, we've been running on about an hour and a half here. Justin, I cannot thank you and Gabby enough for joining us tonight. It has absolutely been a ball having you on.
Hey, thanks for having us on.
Thanks for coming. Thank you, Gabby.
I would like to extend an invitation for you guys to come back and maybe join us on a Saturday night some night when we're tying jigs.
Sure. Let me know. Just give me a holler.
Yep. Gabby, thank you so much. You're such a sweet little gal. We're also proud of watching you grow up. You've done wonderful things, and we're looking forward to where your life leads you in the catfishing world or the fishing world as a rule altogether. So,
yeah,
thank you guys for coming on. Lyle, so what you got going on next week?
Next week, hopefully, I'm going to get to do some fishing and get riled up for a 1-versus-1 with our buddy. Pardon me, J-Dog. Maybe
that's what happened. Maybe you scared the daylights out of him and he's laying low.
I don't think that boy's afraid of nothing. He wasn't afraid of Creole.
Speaking of that, I do have the 1-versus-1 this Sunday morning at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have Creole Catfishing versus Brian B. Catfishing in no particular order. It should be a lot of fun. Hopefully we'll have some guests come on there, do a little visiting with us during the tournament. JP3 had reached out to me, said he might want to pop in and say hello. I'm hoping maybe you will, Lyle. It's always good to see you there.
Absolutely.
You can talk some smack with J-Dog if he decides to come on, and we'll go from there. So
I would probably do that with him. I probably would. Bullock Experience says him and J-Dog are fishing together on October 3rd.
Man, that's the
day after him and I'm supposed to go at it. Wow.
All right, Big Mike, thank you very much for the kind words, my friend.
Yes, sir. Chad was robbed in that tourney. Oh, man, Chad's got a fan for sure. I'm so glad for him.
Yeah, I'm starting to think Fish in the Mid-South is another one of Chad's accounts.
I'm guessing that he's paying him big money. I really am. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Be sure to tune in to the rest of the shows, I can't think of all of them. I know Chad goes with the Fishing with the Chad, and the bait shop goes on before us on Thursday nights. We do Catfish Weekly at 7 o'clock Central Time on Monday night. And as soon as we're done, Mark jumps in with the Catfish and Crappie podcast. Very nice. Very nice. I like the orange.
Yeah, Betty would love that orange.
Absolutely. There's a show or two every night of the week. And if you want to learn about fishing, catfishing, fan fishing, tying jigs, anything you want to learn about, you can come on here at prime time and not have to watch all the commercials and stuff that's on TV. A lot of times there's giveaways. There wasn't tonight, but we'll work back into some of that stuff. We got some stuff coming up. So be sure to tune in. Thanks, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Thank everybody. Thanks,
Take
Justin.
care, everybody.
Bye-bye.